Yo, what is up YouTube? Welcome back to another video on the channel. Today we are going on to episode 5, day 2, trial former, which I'm assuming is before the trial starts. I don't know. But we are going to be diving into the case of, I forgot their names. Wow. It's because I miss Maya so much, you know? But we are going to be diving into this trial today, figuring out what happened between Lana and her sister, or at least what happened with Lana and the person she killed, right? In the last episode, we did an investigation behind this. She is the chief prosecutor, and she's, I'm assuming, being framed by somebody who has something out for her and Edgeworth. So let's just dive into it. You guys remember, you guys are probably fresh off the other video, if I'm being honest. So let's just get into it. How did the investigation go yesterday? Frankly, there are still a lot of gray areas. Or rather, the whole thing is one big gray area. Don't worry about me, no matter what the outcome. I'm ready to accept my fate. I believe in you, sis. Emma, that's her name. Mr. Wright, let me offer you a word of advice. Yeah? A defense attorney should never believe their client. The defendant is called to trial because they are suspected of wrongdoing. Never forget that. Miss Sky, you remind me a lot of Mia, but there is one decisive difference between you and her, and that is, you're not a defense attorney, right? Stick it to her. I believe it's almost time for the trial. Good luck, Mr. Wright. I mean, it's true. How can you sit there and like try to talk to me about being a defense attorney? You're not. You're a prosecuting attorney. Don't you work with somebody who's been like doing dirty stuff under the, like, get out of my face. My first trial without a fae helping me. No one's going to bail me out this time. But we got it though. Stop pretending like you have me, Phoenix. Let's go. I'll be alone in there, so I have to discover the truth all by myself. Let's do it, Mr. Wright. I'll be with you the whole way. And you have Emma here. Stop playing, bro. I hope Emma becomes a mainstay in the next game too. Emma and Maya are like A1 detective assistants or attorney assistants. Court is now in session for the trial of Miss Lana Sky. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution has been ready for a while, Your Honor. Edgeworth. Yeah, I can't believe I'm going against Edgeworth again. And are we gonna recap this? It's been 2 months, but I haven't been in a courtroom since this trial. That's wild to me, neither have I, technically. I hope that personal feelings will not get in the way of today's proceedings, Mr. Wright. I will choose the path I think is right, regardless of what those around me might say. The judgment to be made here is in our hands, not of anyone else. Very well, Mr. Edgeworth, your opening statement, please. Chief Prosecutor Lana Sky has committed an unpardonable crime. Not only this, but she was rash enough to commit it in the prosecutor's office lot. Wow, he's much more powerful in person. I suddenly feel like confessing to everything. However, she will now pay for her rashness with her life. There was a witness to her crime. A professional witness. Who? Well then, call your first witness, Mr. Edgeworth. The prosecution calls its first witness, Miss Angel Star, to the stand. The cough-up queen? Oh yeah, we're gonna get a mouthful out of her, I'm sure. Haven't I seen you somewhere? Are you offering lunch in the courtroom? You ordered the caviar lunch, right? Oh, caviar! I've never eaten caviar before. The judge is really wolfing it down. Ah, and for you, I have a fiesta bowl. Thanks. Will the witness state her name and profession? Ah, and you, sir? Did you order the fingerprint lunchbox? It is too early for lunch. Your name and profession, please. Well, Your Honor. So this is why everyone raves about caviar. It's so tasty, it hurts. I always thought caviar would taste like pickled tapioca. What the heck does pickled tap? That sounds disgusting. Right? Name. Profession. Now. Me? The name is Angel Star. Don't go forgetting it. I find myself running Lunchland these days. Is that what you wanted to say, Mr. Edgeworth? You wanted me to say? Very well, witness. Please describe the incident to us. The prosecution will wait. I'm not finished eating. This judge is a clown. Hurry it up. Very well, Mr. Edgeworth. As you know, we usually call on the police to provide a description of the crime. Your Honor, as Mr. Edgeworth has said to the court, I am a professional. What exactly does that mean? Until 2 years ago, Miss Angel Starr was a special investigator with the police. She was a first-rate homicide detective. Whoa, okay. What? Miss Starr was a detective? What? I know who you are. Cough up? Cough up Queen Angel Starr, Your Honor. Long time no see. Very well. You may continue with the description, Miss Starr. Just who is this lady? If I might have the court's attention over here. I keep switching her. I don't know what I want her thing to be, her voice to be. The parking lot at the prosecutor's office is divided into 2 blocks. A block is for the prosecutor's personnel. What? The prosecutor's office personnel. B block is for visitors and clients. A chain divider separates the 2 blocks. I suppose that's to keep visitors from taking up prosecutor spaces, yes? The crime took place by a car in the back of A block, in the car's trunk. The killer stabbed the victim with his knife and went to drive the body out. Okay. Unfortunately for her, there was a witness and an arrest was made on the spot. And who was this valiant witness? Why, it was me, Your Honor. Parking lot floor plans, the parking lot with Edgeworth's car. Okay. Witness, did you see the very moment of the crime? Of course, Your Honor. Immediately after that, I apprehended the chief prosecutor. The chief prosecutor. It seems rather cut and dry, doesn't it? Well, Mr. Wright? I can't agree on principle, Your Honor. Okay. It seems some losers are unwilling to accept the truth, Your Honor. Shall I proceed to crush what little hope they have remaining? If you can, then give them your worst, Mrs. Starr. Why are you rooting on my downfall? This is crazy. This is a life lesson. Anybody watching this right now, you can win all your life and you're always gonna have people wishing on your downfall. Even if they see your, hey look, what did Drake say? They be whispering they shout my failures but whisper my accomplishments. Exactly. Somehow, I always knew a day like this would come. I was on my way to deliver a lunchbox to my boyfriend when I sensed something. Perhaps it was my finely honed detective's intuition at work. Okay. Through the wire fence, I saw the chief prosecutor standing next to a garish car. The chief prosecutor was holding a knife in her right hand. Then, she thrust the pointy tip of the knife into Detective Goodman's chest. Okay. Bringing a lunchbox to your boyfriend. How touching. That's what you got out of that? As you can see, there's no room for doubt. The key point of your testimony seems to be none other than the point of the knife which you saw being stabbed into Detective Goodman. So, how does it feel to be so utterly crushed? I'm still thinking about that. It's merely a flesh wound, Mr. Wright. Was that a Monty Python reference? Very well, Mr. Wright. You may cross-examine the witness. Let me get into this real quick. Let me put in my expertise. Somehow, I always knew a day like this would come. What do you mean by that? How did you know? I respect the prosecutor's basic abhorrence of crime, yet their methods are utterly ugly and twisted. Twisted methods will always lead to tragedy. Why are you bowing? That wasn't your testimony. The lunch lady's uniform opinion is duly noted. Given that they are used to erasing inconvenient evidence at their whim. With the hair flip, really? Killing off a detective that knew too much is merely an extension of that. Miss Starr, do you have something personal against prosecutors? I felt that I had found my dream job when I became an investigator, and if I hadn't been laid off by those prosecutors over there, I'd still be one. Laid off? She was fired. Okay, so we have a motive. To me, prosecutors are nothing more than worms. That said, I am a pro, as you know. My testimony is unbiased and flawless. Very well, you may continue, Miss Starr. Okay. I was on my way to deliver a lunchbox to my boyfriend. Let's get the identity of your boyfriend. This boyfriend. He's the detective? Not that boyfriend. The security guard. That boyfriend? You have several C judges, what I be saying, man. This is exactly what I be saying. People don't... You gotta hear me. Listen, okay? Yes, this boyfriend, that boyfriend, and the other boyfriend. Care to join? The yet another boyfriend position is still open for applicants. Nah. Can't go 50-50 with no... Y'all know what Drake say. I've listened to a lot of Drake lately. The beef kind of inspired that within me. I'll stick with the lunches, thanks. Note to self, the judge had to think before replying. The security guard room is in the lot A. The A block. It's up on the second level, so you can see everything from there. And that would be the room with the security sign. Okay, incidentally, did you bring your lunchboxes by car? Since I am a visitor now, I parked in B block. So she was in B block when she witnessed the crime. Okay. When I sensed something, perhaps it was my finely honed detective intuition at work. Okay. You sensed something? So you're saying you had a premonition of the murder? It felt like, how would you say? Oh yes, it was like the feeling you get when you see when you view a pumpkin chock full of seeds? I have no idea what that actually means. Speaking of detective's intuition, wasn't the victim Mr. Bruce Goodman also a detective? Well, yes, well he was like a young cheese. A young cheese? A pale white cheese, not yet tangy with experience in the streets. A greenhorn. Then I must be hard, yellowed, and sharp as a tack. Pause. Yeah, with the odor of an old cheese to match. Bro, can we stop talking about cheese? In any case, there in the lot, I felt something stirring in the back of my mind. Through the wire fence, I saw the chief prosecutor standing next to a garish car. Okay, by garish car you mean Edgeworth's car? Okay. Mr. Edgeworth's? Incidentally, the knife which the victim was stabbed was also Mr. Edgeworth's, wasn't it? Indeed it was. What an odd case this is. And the person you saw, are you sure was the defendant? I saw her from no further than 30 feet away. I am certain it was her. If she's telling the truth, we're doomed. Let's just do what we can. Even if we don't have any proof, we can always nitpick. Witness, in your testimony, you clearly stated the following. Prosecutors are nothing more than worms. Ergo, you are a biased woman. You might want to keep those silly opinions to yourself in the future, rookie. Huh? Rookie? Unless you're willing to risk the consequences of doubting me. I'll fry you like a fritter, crispy on the outside, chewy on the inside. That was inspiring. Oh, this judge, you showing your colors yet again. I don't even know why I expect him to be on my side. At this point, he might as well be a prosecuting attorney. I believe I've heard that tagline somewhere. You could cry plagiarism. I may be relegated to the lowly post of lunch lady, but my instincts are honed. A photograph? You took this? The moment I witnessed the crime, my reflexes took over and snap, I took a picture. In fact, one of my lunchboxes is rigged with a camera. What the fuck? Excuse me? I suppose that's more exciting than just hanging it around your neck. Witness, why am I only seeing this photograph just now? You think I'd show it to you again and show it to you, a prosecutor? You think I'd show it to you, a prosecutor? Think again. My boyfriend works in the photography division of criminal affairs. Well, this is most certainly the defendant. The moment of the crime as photographed by Angel Star. Uh-oh, that is unmistakably Lana Sky. So, what was the defendant doing at the time? The chief prosecutor was holding a knife in her right hand. Right. Tell me more about this knife that you suspect that you believe the suspect was carrying. Well, I'd say the blade was about 4 inches long. Is that right, Mr. Edgeworth? It is your knife after all. That's about right. Prosecutors are, by nature, well versed in the location of a man's vital organs. I'm sure it was easier than boiling an egg for my egg salad surprise set. You got some alliteration going on in there? You can't testify as to what? To her ability to kill an egg? I mean, a person? Perhaps a chicken salad set would have been a better metaphor? So the defendant was holding a knife. What then? Right? Let's get on with this. Then she thrust the pointy tip of the knife in the Detective Goodman's chest. Okay. Tell the court why you didn't try to stop this crime. You did see her raise the knife to strike, no? The defense has a point. Unfortunately, by the time I realized what was going on, it was already late. Too late? Yes, the next moment, the chief prosecutor brought down the murder weapon. I see. It's only a flesh wound, Mr. Wright. We can make it. You said that before. Anything else? Scientifically speaking, Mrs. Starr's testimony is flawless. Sounds pretty fatal to me. What do we do? Is this it? Is my sister guilty? Let's just keep our heads cool and press the witness a bit, shall we? For some reason, having her panicking next to me makes me calmer. Don't smile like that! Mazzy and Maya, huh? Somehow I always knew a day like this would come. Okay. Wait, no, that's not what I wanted to do. Okay. Also, I'm waiting to deliver it. Okay, so we can go back. I learned that too. In press. So I learned that you can go back. I learned that you can save. And I learned that you can save before you lose points. So that's pretty good. Alright, let's bring this up. Okay. So we have an ID card. We have Goodman's ID, King of Prosecutors Trophy, Edgeworth's knife, no traces of victim's blood. Okay. Record of parking in the... Okay, it was... So they entered at 5:12. And this is from Miles Edgeworth. A work of art detected... Designed by the Chief of Detectives. Death. Died within an hour and a half of 4 p.m. So about 5:30. So at 5:30. Edgeworth came in around 5:12. 5:18 was the last call made to Emma. And the parking lot had the car. The moment... Okay, so she was in B block. She took the picture in A block. Check this. Okay, so we have... Okay, so she took the picture arguably over in that little first parking spot in part B. So that's not... Nothing about this is too bad. Let's just... I'm going to deliver a lunchbox to my boyfriend. When I sense something, perhaps it's my finally home detective intuition. Through the wire fence, I saw the chief prosecutor standing next to a garish car. The chief prosecutor was holding a knife in her right hand. Okay. She was holding a knife in her right hand. This isn't the photo I wanted to look at. I mean, I could present that picture to her. Let's save right here. Let's save this for now, because I'm not entirely certain. Through the wire fence, the chief prosecutor was holding a knife in her right hand. Then she thrust the pointy tip of the knife into Detective Goodman's chest. The tip of the knife into... What is this knife? Usually traces of victim's blood, no prints. Death of one knife wound. Memo found in the trunk, property of Lana Sky. So we don't actually have evidence of it actually happening. We just... See, we don't have evidence of that happening. I'm thinking maybe we press her on that detail. I say we press her on that detail and then we... Always knew this day would come, deliver a box. I saw the chief standing next to a garish car. The chief was holding a knife in her right hand. Okay, I want to ask her about this, because this... Okay, here we go. And you witnessed this? You saw Miss Sky stab the victim with a knife? As I've already said, yes. I swear to my finest salmon swirl lunch. I'm sure that is a fine lunch. But isn't that odd? Look at this photograph. This is the photograph you took at the very moment of the crime, is it not? Then why is Miss Sky not holding a knife? That's exactly what I was thinking. Mr. Edgeworth, your thoughts? Objection. That had to be the weakest objection ever, Edgeworth. Yet, it was still stronger than your ever-feeble mind, Mr. Wright. What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? This photograph was not taken the moment before the stabbing. This was taken the moment after the stabbing. Oh, the blood. And how can you tell that? Blood splatter. Huh? You see the dark crimson stains on the chief prosecutor's coat? But it's a black and white photograph. Ah, yes, it's hard to tell, but this could be blood. Well, Mr. Wright, I see no problem here. No problem except you. Mr. Wright, are you going to just sit there and take this kind of abuse? You got a better idea? Objection. Wait, that contradicts what the witness said in her testimony. Namely, that she took the picture the moment she witnessed the crime. Well, it seems I was slightly unclear. My apologies. That's it? If you run out of lunch, you order seconds. Problem solved. If you don't like it, try ordering the jumbo-sized lunch from the get-go. Good advice. I'm not sure I understood, but good advice. I didn't have time to stop her. Prosecutor Sky was cold, calculating, like a robot. She killed without pain or remorse. It was a premeditated murder. Premeditated? How do you know? Look at the chief prosecutor's hands in that photograph. Well, are those gloves? Surgical gloves made of thin rubber, most likely. Why would she have those on? If it was not premeditated, she would not be wearing those gloves. Well, it's true. Those gloves do seem to tell a tale of premeditation. Premeditated murder, a serious offense. Witness, add this to your testimony. The murder was planned. The rubber gloves proves it. What if she was just in the habit of wearing gloves, like driving gloves? The gloves were admitted as evidence when the defendant was arrested. They were rubber gloves of the kind used for autopsies. In other words, when the chief prosecutor came to the crime scene, she came to do the murder. It's the only possible conclusion one can make. Everything was planned. It was a premeditated crime. Impressive. I'm sorry they took you off the force, Miss Starr. This is bad. She's got them thinking this was all planned. If she can prove this claim, the trial's already over. I've got to think of a way to show this wasn't premeditated. Okay. How do we do that? How do we show that it's not premeditated? Save it again. We'll just do the first slot. Save. Okay. Somehow I always knew a day like this would come. I was on my way to deliver a lunchbox to my boyfriend. When I sensed something, perhaps my family tune standing next to it, the rubber gloves proved it. Premeditated, huh? Let's look at his thing. Okay. Can we like look? Can we see it? I'm like trying to like see what the heck is actually on this card. All it's saying is this is his name. A name and ID number written here. Sergeant Bruce Goodman, ID number 5892. Da, da, da. I wonder why they use numbers for IDs. What else would they use? Letters, silly. They're the reason we have written language in the first place. True. Sergeant Bruce Goodman. Yabba dab. See? Wouldn't that be better? Yabba dab. Well, it does have a certain ring to it. Exactly my point. It doesn't take much to abuse her. But okay, and then what about the back? Okay, we have nothing that we can go off for the back. We just have that. Alright. ID number 5842189. Given to Edgeworth the day of the murder. Interesting. Oh, what's this? Hey, check it out. There's a metal plate here. Looks like the names of all the previous recipients are engraved on it. Wow, one guy's listed a bunch of times. Von Karma. I guess he must be a foreigner? Yeah, that's probably it. Well, wherever he's from, he must have been an amazing prosecutor. I'd like to meet this Mr. Von Karma sometime. When she says it, his name does kind of have a ring to it. Okay, Von Karma's there's nothing of importance, really. Okay, well, I mean, this is nothing premeditated. No prints. Record of the office. Okay. Died within an hour and a half of 4 p.m. Cause of death, loss of blood from just a wound was caused by 4.5-inch knife. A single stab wound was found. Okay. What would the memo 67S 22 premeditated 5/18 on the day of the murder? How do we prove that it's not premeditated? That's the thing about this, I have to prove it was premeditated. Or that it was not. I always knew a day like this would come. I was on my way to deliver a lunchbox to my boyfriend. When I sensed something, perhaps it was my finally honed detective intuition at work. Through the wire fence, I saw the chief prosecutor standing next to a garish car. The murder was planned. The rubber gloves proved it. Goodman's ID. King of prosecutors of the PD at the police department. The murder weapon usually in Edgeworth's toolbox. Traces of record of the parking. Nothing on the back. Miles Edgeworth, 712. This is dated the day of the crime. The murder took place 3 minutes after Edgeworth parked this car. If only he was held up at a couple extra red lights, he wouldn't have been caught up in this whole affair, perhaps. It just goes to show you never know what'll happen when you run a yellow light. I mean, could this prove it? Because why... Wouldn't that... Your Honor, okay, we'll restart. We'll restart. Okay, what I was thinking was because how would they know to... how would they know to place the thing in the car? It just makes no sense. The work of art is created by Detective Gumshoe. It's just that. It's nothing... Is it this one? Through the wire fence, the murder was planned. The rubber gloves prove it. Is it? Nope. It's not that either. The murder was planned. The rubber gloves prove it. Something has to... The trophy? The knife? The knife! Because how would she know to get the knife out of the box because Edgeworth wasn't parked there yet? Witness, do you know what this is? Are you trying to test me? I sell box lunches for a living, you know. That's a knife. The knife. The knife that was in Mr. Edgeworth's trunk. Indeed, it is my knife. Yeah, how would she know to get that knife if he wasn't even going to be pulling up? The defendant is the chief prosecutor. Mommy, are prosecutors bad people? The defense has a request. We ask that the witness provide an accurate testimony. What's that, rookie? In your testimony, you stated that Lana Skye planned this murder, and that's why she was wearing these special gloves. Seems like a natural conclusion to me. The gloves do indicate planning. However, why would she also not prepare for the most important thing, the murder weapon? Ew. This knife just happened to be in the trunk of that car. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're going to plan a murder, you don't forget the weapon. Yeah, I mean, that goes without saying. Order, order, order. Great. Now the tide is turning in our favor. Great show, Mr. Wright. My sister's as good as free. Right. I believe the next lunch you'll be eating is humble pie. What? I hope you weren't deluding yourself into thinking that the tide has turned. Not over such a trifling detail. But this shoots a hole in the whole premeditated theory. The prosecution could care less if it was premeditated or not. The only one who seems to care is that lunch lady over there. The defendant, Lana Skye, murdered a detective with a knife. That is the only thing the prosecution need prove. Nothing else. Very good, Mr. Prosecutor. I suppose you think you're clever now. But you know as well as I do that she planned on killing him. It was planned. If it wasn't... I believe I'd like to hear your testimony again. Witness, please tell us only what you saw, not what you thought. How dare you? My powers of deduction are not to be underestimated. Really now. Go figure. Like, bro. See, this is the thing that I don't get, is that they're allowed to mess up as many times as possible, but I gotta, like, save and reload and... I just don't understand. It's the life of an attorney, I guess. Oh, hold on. Oops. I minimized by accident. Lana Skye intended to murder Detective Goodman. That's why she called the victim all the way to the prosecutor's office. I'm sure the chief prosecutor had a grudge against the victim. Nothing else could drive that human machine to plunge the knife in him again and again. The victim was summoned from the police department to the prosecutor's office. It does sound a lot like premeditation, doesn't it? So if I ordered a pizza, does that mean I'm planning to kill the delivery boy? In any case, the defense may now cross-examine the witness. All right, well, let's try. I mean, I don't... Lana Skye intended to... Okay, let's... Like, why? How? You said that, but you haven't told us how you know. That's what I'm about to tell you, rookie. I believe what she just said was a mere prelude to the story she's about to tell. Try not to interrupt her again. She got done with her testimony. Rookie. Never interrupt a storyteller. It's like pulling a bun out of an oven half-baked. Something's half-baked here, alright, and it's you. Try not to confuse the the defense witness. They're not very quick on their feet. Now, why did you believe the suspect had intentions to murder the victim? Her actions speak for themselves. That's why she called the victim all the way to the prosecutor's office. Okay. You have no proof that Miss Sky called him there. You have no proof that she did, and yes I do. Mr. Edgeworth, thoughts? There is no record of a call made on the defendant Miss Lana Sky's phone. She might have written him a letter. Come on, you could have tried public phone at least. In any case, the victim came to the prosecutor's office where he was murdered. I'm sure he had a reason to be there. Witness? Why do you think it was the suspect who summoned the victim that day? Yeah, we're gonna put a stop on that. What? I have a call right here. Bro, I have the call right here. Oh my gosh. Hold on, I gotta save the game. Save it in the second file. So we'll have one for where we don't lose any lives, one where we might lose one, and then we'll have one where we like are on our last legs. I think that's a good way of doing that. I'm sure that's what she called the victim all the way to the prosecutor's office. I'm sure the prosecutor had a grudge against the victim. Okay. What kind of grudge? Well, I wouldn't know that. Of course you don't. That's because she didn't have a grudge. Rookie. I have a lunchbox here now. What's inside? How am I supposed to know? See? We agree there is a lunchbox here, but we don't know what's inside. A person's life is like a lunchbox with pretzels, don't you agree? I get it. That's why my lunch was so salty. What? This judge isn't very good with metaphors. The suspect had a grudge against Detective Goodman. Will you tell us your basis for thinking this? It's simple. Nothing else could drive that human machine to plunge the knife in. Here we go! Here we go. Yeah, once. It was once. It was once. You say she stabbed him again and again, but you couldn't have witnessed that. Are you testing me? Then I'll test you. With my moss sunrise. I'm afraid the moss is growing under our feet as we wait, Miss Starr. Huh, what do you mean? I shouldn't have to explain this, but take a look. The autopsy report states that death was due to a loss of blood from one stab wound. Aha, you're right. Good show, Mr. Edgeworth. What a hunk. I mean, he's my hero, really. Are we gonna forget who did that? Look how quick everyone switches up on me. Oh, I need Maya back ASAP. What about my objection? No one noticed? Well, witness? You got the crime scene set, right? Oh, thanks. I always believed that no one would ever mistake ketchup for blood. Was that ketchup on rice? I have to try it. But now I realize that such mistakes are possible. So, you're saying you mistook something as something else? When she lifted her knife, I thought I saw blood at her breast. Splattered blood from her victim. That's why I thought she must have stabbed him at least twice. Then tell us what you saw that you thought was blood. Testify. Her red muffler looked like blood to me. That's how ghastly the whole scene was. Her red muffler. Yeah, it's like a scarf. The chief prosecutor always wears one around her neck, so she can be easily hanged at a moment's notice, I suppose. She's right. Miss Sky was wearing a red scarf, wasn't she? But wait, isn't it odd that you mistook that for splattered blood? Well, people often mistake my beard for a bib. What are we talking? This is a goofy episode. A judge with a bib. That's why this place feels so much like kindergarten sometimes. Ooh, nice road. Ooh, nice zinger. Ooh. Nice zinger. Bro, are we in kindergarten? Actually, I do think I saw some traces of blood on her chest. Bro, you've switched up like 3 times. However, the autopsy report is clear on this matter. There was only one knife wound. Apparently, Miss Starr isn't entirely sure of her own testimony. Mr. Wright, this is our chance! Chance for what, I wonder? Miss Starr has turned out to be as short-tempered as she looked when we met her. Challenging her abilities as a detective really set her off. The short wick burns out the fastest is a scientific fact. I wonder, wouldn't it depend on the size of the candle? I mean, add more wax. Even a really short wick will burn longer. Obviously, more scientific testing is required. Lana Sky intended to murder... Okay. She's not even so sure about this whole thing. One knife wound, victim trunk, property, parking lot. But she wasn't wearing it. So what if we just tell her that she wasn't wearing it? Okay, so we made it this far in the testimony. Let's save it on our second slot. Alright, cool. Can you let me know why she's not wearing it in this photo then? I just wanted to be sure. Miss Starr, I demand an explanation. The witness is clearly not suited for detective work. What? The suspect was not wearing a scarf or muffler of any kind. When she... Edgeworth, do you want my job, bro? What are you doing? What are you actually doing? Do you want to be a defense... Ooh, you want to be a defense attorney... A defense attorney? You want to be a defense attorney so bad? I got news for you. I got news for you. I'm the one pointing this out. And you proved it yourself with this photograph. Huh? But that can't be. Only a professional lunch lady could be so utterly careless. Congratulations. Perhaps you finally found your true calling in life. Harsh words. In the end, Mr. Edgeworth prevails. What was my objection? Chopped liver for real? Why are we allowing him to do this? But it was there, a scarf. No, not that, but something red, really. Well, now where were we? The witness had given us an entertaining interlude. Back to business. What? Very well, witness, continue your testimony. You saw the crime and apprehended the suspect. Tell us about that. Very well. I do remember those things accurately, at least. Ultimately, we couldn't shake the most important part of her testimony. The most important part. The part where your sister stabs the victim. This next testimony might just be the moment of truth. Alright, let's hear it. Apprehending the suspect. After the murder, the suspect attempted to run behind a partition off to her side. I quickly caught her, explained her rights to her, and arrested her on the spot. Ah yes, when I arrested her, she mentioned the muffler. That's what had me confused in my earlier testimony. The chief prosecutor made to escape, but against Angel Star, resistance is futile. Okay, that was weird. You are quite determined about this scarf, aren't you? I strike like a snake and bite like a cobra. That's me. Angel Star. That wasn't a very good metaphor, first of all. A cobra is a kind of snake. Don't bother me with the details, unless you want to get bitten. No thanks. Note to self, Mr. Wright is weak against poisonous snake bites. The chief prosecutor tried to resist, but her efforts were in vain. She knocked my hands aside, kicked over an oil drum. An oil drum? Hard to imagine. Oh, and she's beautiful, but deadly. A predator, this one. A leopard woman. Rawr. What the hell? What is that? What kind of description is that? Very well, Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, if you will. I mean, I don't even know where to start. After the murder, the suspect attempted to run behind a partition off to her side. So where is this partition on the floor plans? I'm sure she means this wall next to the car. That's right. There was a wall there, about 6 feet high. She was obviously trying to hide herself, quite a natural thing for a criminal to do. And what did you do then? I quickly caught her, explained her rights to her, and arrested her on the spot. You say quickly. Were you close to the suspect? As I just said, I was only 30 feet away from her this whole time. Maybe I should press her for more details? Press her. I'd like to see this on the floor plans just to be safe. Because that should be... The lunch land car was over in B. She was a visitor, so she was gated off. So you witnessed the murder from here? That would make it about 30 feet from the car, yes? Is that correct, Miss Starr? Yes, that's right. But there was a chain link fence in front of you. I went over to it, of course. Amazing, the Coffee Queen lunch lady athlete, indeed. It would have taken her a little time to climb over the fence, so she couldn't have gotten to my sister that fast. Yeah, that fence was about 9 feet high, too. So how did Miss Sky not get away? Ah, yes, when I arrested her, she mentioned the muffler. What? Why would she mention the muffler? She mentioned the muffler. What exactly did she say? If I remembered exactly, I would have told you in my testimony. Cheeky. Anyway, all I heard her say was the word muffler. Just that one word? So, what you heard wasn't the suspect talking to you, but someone else? Yes, the chief prosecutor was talking on her phone. Ah, her phone. She can't mean... Ask further. By phone, do you mean the cell phone discovered at the crime scene? Yes, ultimately. Ultimately? My memory... It's like a salmon heading upstream, you see. No, the court doesn't see, Miss Starr. The chief prosecutor first attempted to use the phone hanging on the wall. On the wall? That's right. Near the car, there was an emergency phone on the wall. Apparently, it was out of order. And so she used her cell phone. Indeed, the emergency phone was out of order that day. Good witnessing, witness. Good witnessing, no. Whatever happened to good testifying? You should, of course, add this to your testimony. The things I do to please this rookie defense attorney. The word muffler was overheard during a call made to Emma at 5:18. Okay. I saw it all. How she tried the phone on the wall, but had to use her cell instead. Do you think you could restate your testimony for the court? Ah, I was going to ask the same thing. I'll only say this one time, so listen close, rookies. Okay. The chief prosecutor stabbed the victim and ran behind the partition. She then picked up the emergency phone on the wall, but it was out of order. So she pulled her own cell phone out of her pocket. And during that time, you climbed over the chain link fence. Then, when I boldly grabbed her arm, the chief prosecutor hung up her phone. And you saw her doing this? What is it, Mr. Wright? The chief prosecutor made to escape, but against Angel Star, resistance is futile. Okay. I'm curious about... She made to escape. Can you be more specific? She brushed aside my hand and ran. It was a terrible sight to see, like a dollop of lard on a pâté of foie gras. Uh-huh. She even kicked over an oil drum at me. An oil drum? There was an oil drum lying on its side at the scene of the crime. But it's strange. What's that? If she wanted to escape, why didn't she run the other way? The parking lot entrance. That's right. It doesn't make any sense that she would run from behind the partition to the oil drums. Excellent. More mysteries. I wish we could solve a few before finding more, though. So, this guy tried to run. I'm sorry my sister is so suspicious, Mr. Wright. Not as sorry as I am. But she didn't do it. You have to believe me. After the murder, the suspect attempted to run to the partition. First of all, let's save. We know what to do here. Okay. Now, let's look at our evidence. So, ran to the partition. So, there was an area she could run to. We know that much. Ran over to the telephone. So, Emma... She called Emma at 5:18. The murder happened before that point, obviously. 12:02. What was that word? Oh, sorry. Okay. So, 12/2. So, February 12th. So, February 12th was the memo. If I'm not mistaken. I think. Alright, so we have the murder weapon, usually in the Edgeworth. This is toolbox, traces of victim's blood, no prints. Given to Edgeworth, king of prosecutors. So this cell phone is definitely... After the murder, the suspect attempted to run into the partition and quickly caught her, explained her rights to her, and arrested. Oh yes, when I arrested her, she mentioned the muffler. The muffler, I saw it all. How she tried the phone on the wall, but had to use her cell instead. The chief prosecutor made to escape, but against Angel Star, resistance is futile. The word muffler was overheard. The parking lot with Edgeworth's car. So she took the picture with the secret camera. Let me rerun the events out loud. So they're both in separate blocks, right? Edgeworth doesn't get to this place until 5:12. The murder didn't occurred beforehand. Then Mia died an hour and a half starting from 4 o'clock. So around 4:30 was the time of death, supposedly. Around that time. So so at 5:18 was around the time that the actual like murder happened, or like around the time where actual murder happened. Between 5:12 and 5:18. Okay. The chief prosecutor made to escape, but against Angel Star. I mean, I'm also kind of confused as to why she wouldn't have tried to kill you. Saw it all. I mean, I don't know. I'm hella skeptical about how... Load. The suspect attempted to run behind a partition off to her side. I quickly caught her, explaining right to her and arrested the spot. Yes, when I arrested her, she arrested the muffler. I saw she... That's not it either. I'm just so confused. After the murder, the suspect attempted to run behind a partition. I quickly caught her, explained her rights to her, and arrested her on the spot. Oh yeah, so she bested the muffler. I'm sorry, I'm trying to think, like, I saw it all, how she tried the phone on the wall but had to use her cell instead. Okay, we're not gonna get anything out of that. Call on the wall but had to use her phone instead. Okay. A memo. That will come into play later. The floor plans. The telephone. I'm so confused. The chief prosecutor made to escape, but against Angel Star, resistance is futile. Bro. Like I said, sorry, I'm just thinking, man. After the murder, the suspect attempted to run behind a partition after. What makes it so difficult is that she's all over the place. Like, normally if someone's, like, got a hole in their testimony and they're all over the place in that way, it's not bad, but it's honestly just bad because she just doesn't... She's not telling the sequence of events properly. So she ran over the fence. I quickly caught her, explained her rights to her, and arrested her on the spot. I don't know. You say quickly you were close to the suspect? As just said, only 30 feet. Press her for more details. The lunch lane car was... There was a visitor in B block. Witness from there. Is that correct? Yes, that's right. But there was a chain link fence in front of you. I went over to it, of course. Amazing. The coffin queen. Lunch lady athlete, indeed. It would have been taking her a little time to appointment, so she couldn't have gotten there, my sister, that fast. Yeah, that fence was about 9 feet high, too. So how did Miss Guy not get away? So I think that's where we're going to need to... This is where we're going to need to press. I just don't know with what evidence. I mean, with the time? I'm just so confused. Is it the phone call? Maybe? Not the phone call? I don't want to have to look this up, bro, because this actually has me stumped. Just keep loading. Parking lot floor plans. It just seems weird that she... Partition to her side. Quickly caught her, explained her. She mentioned the muffler. She mentioned muffler, what did she say? If I remember, I would have told you in my testimony. Cheeky. Anyway, all I heard was say the word muffler. Just that one word, so what you heard was the suspect talking to you with someone else? Yes, the chief prosecutor was talking on her phone. It wouldn't be the phone here, would it? No. I saw it all, how she tried the phone on the wall, but had to use her cell instead. Do you think you could restate your testimony for the court? Okay. The chief prosecutor, yada yada, was making on top, and then she picked up the emergency phone on the wall, but it was out of order. So she quickly ran behind the partition, pulled out her own cell phone. And during that time, you climbed over the chain link fence. Then the chief prosecutor hung up her phone. And you saw her do this? What is it, Mr. Wright? Okay, so I'm assuming it'll be the partition blocking her view. Yeah. It just seems so weird because I'm like, you could hear it though. Miss Starr, I have to conclude that you have a personal grudge against Miss Lana Skye. The witness is a former detective. Her testimony is unmarred by personal bias. Well, who would have thought you would be in my knight in shining armor, prosecutor? You, who together with the chief prosecutor kicked me out 2 years ago. Well, Miss Starr, this is a fatal contradiction with your testimony. How do you explain this? I don't know what you're talking about. Mess with me and I'll make you cough it all up. Let's look at the floor plans. You said you witnessed the crime from this point. However, if that's true, you couldn't possibly have seen Miss Skye making that phone call. I believe you see what I'm getting at. That emergency phone was on the back side of this partition. If indeed you were in B block, you couldn't have seen it. Okay. I mean, yeah. Order! What is the meaning of this? It's simple, Your Honor. She's not coughing up lunch, she's coughing up lies. Yeah. That's quite a claim, Mr. Wright. Perhaps you will allow me a question. Tell us exactly what lie this witness has told the court. Here's where the counterattack begins. I can't afford to get this wrong. The witness lied about... Oh yeah, of course we're gonna save. The witness lied about what she saw, where she saw it, the order of events. So I'm assuming it's probably gonna be the order of events, but just for shits and giggles, let's do what she saw. She lied about what she saw, in other words. She didn't see Miss Skye using that emergency phone. It does seem kind of hard to imagine she could have. Very logical. What's the matter, Star? Cat got your lunchbox? Mr. Wright, I hate to bother you while you're celebrating your victory, but why would Miss Star lie like that? Huh? Why would she say that my sister tried to use the phone but failed? It doesn't make any sense. Why lie about something so insignificant? Oh, dang, she's right. I mean, maybe she really did see her try to use the emergency phone. I see no room for doubt here. You ordered the patooey on rice, right? Where do you keep getting these lunches from? Are you making them on the spot? And how do you have one for every single occasion? That's premeditated. What? Mr. Wright, I thought you had something that. They let me go that entire time thinking I had something? You're funny. Capcom, you're funny. Man, load. So, where she saw it? How does that even make sense? Miss Skye tried to use the emergency phone, but it was out of order. What is significant about this fact? Nothing. Therefore, it would be pointless for Miss Star to lie about it. Pointless to lie, I see. But say the witness did actually see Miss Skye using the emergency phone, it would mean Miss Starr witnessed a crime from a different location. What? A different location? Now that's a pointless lie if I ever heard one. Before you call my lie pointless, at least let me tell it. Let me ask a question to the clever wordsmith, Mr. Wright. Just where do you think this crime took place? All the testimony we've heard until now points in one direction. The place from where she saw the crime was actually over here. From here? I mean, would it really have mattered? It would have had to have been somewhere over here. Maybe the security room? Maybe if she could see the cameras. This is the only place where she could have been. The security guard room? Indeed, the security room is the underground parking lot, and the underground parking lot is well positioned. It's built on the second floor, so you can see the entire lot. She would have been able to see the emergency phone from there. But why there? There are many other places where she could have seen the phone. Not in this case, Your Honor. The witness, not being part of the prosecutor's office, couldn't park in A block. The only place where she would have seen the crime and the back of the partition is here. I remember in your testimony you said you brought a lunch to your boyfriend in the security guard room, yes? Well, Miss Starr, how many years have I been getting the better of men? To think that the tables could be turned. Today a man has got the better of Angel Starr. Oh my gosh. I'm so lost on this case. I mean, I get it. The pieces just aren't there. Order, witness. What have you done? You used to be a detective. You should know better. I'm not turning back. The guilty will be punished. And I'll do what I must to make sure justice prevails. Who are you, Detective Conan from Case Closed? Get out of here. The guilty. Is she talking about Miss Sky? Mr. Wright, doesn't it strike you as odd? Why did Miss Starr lie? It doesn't make any sense. Huh? She could have just said she saw the crime from the security guard station. It wouldn't change anything. Exactly. This photograph tells all. It was the defendant who stabbed the victim. That truth still stands. It still stands. I disagree, Mr. Edgeworth. What? If a witness is found to be lying, they're guilty of perjury. She knows this. She wouldn't risk that without a good reason. So tell us what her reason was, Mr. Wright. Huh? Me? Who else? Mr. Wright, let's review what we know. Miss Starr witnessed the crime from the security. Miss Starr witnessed the crime from the security guard station. Okay, but she lied and said she saw it from B block. It must make a vital difference, but what would change? The distance to the crime, the angle of view to the crime. The angle of view to the crime? Why? The angle at which she saw the crime occur would change. The angle? What do you mean? Well, the security guard station is on the second floor, and, she would have sort of a more 3D view of the crime. And this is important, why? Could you stop? Stop letting me do that! Stop letting me do that! Stop letting me do that! My condolences, Mr. Wright, but one look at the floor plans and it's quite clear. The distance between the scene of the crime and the guard station is 30 feet. I don't see how that would change what she could see. What she saw is not in question here. What matters— oh, damn it, I hit circle too fast. Miss Starr, you witnessed the crime from the security guard station. Now, how long— okay, really? Okay, sometimes they plainly lay out the text, so when I click circle or click X on it, it skips it. To see the crime where you arrested Miss Sky. Well, witness? Yes? You ordered the squid wheels, right? The quality of my lunches have gone from low to inedible. I was bringing a PB&J to lunch. I was bringing a PB&J lunch with my fresh boysenberry jam to my boyfriend. Boysenberry for the boyfriend. He wasn't in the station, so I waited. I witnessed the crime from the glass-walled station. And then you came out from— and before I knew what I was doing, I found myself running towards the scene. But the door was locked. I couldn't open it. So you went all the way around? Oh, brother. That would have taken a while. That's why I had to go through the visitors parking in B block. That's quite a detour. Okay. It probably took me at least 5 minutes to get to the scene of the crime. 5 minutes? Okay. This changes things considerably. But it was that woman over there in the defendant's chair who stabbed him. I know it. I have photographic evidence. I swear it. I swear it on my finest plastic spork. You have a point, and the spork is a wonderful invention. Would you like another caviar lunch? Absolutely. Oh. Mr. Wright, you have to do something. Do I have any evidence to stop this? Raise an objection. 5 minutes between the... Yep. Okay. 5 minutes between the witnessing of the murder and the arrest. Think about it. You can make a pasta in that amount of time, if you like it al dente. I've got lunchboxes in that I've got lunchboxes that tie pasta into knots, rookie. A 5-minute blank. Isn't that strange? Strange? If you were a criminal, what would you do with 5 minutes, Your Honor? Well, I guess I'd flee the scene. Hey, don't get the wrong idea. I didn't kill anyone. But you have the instincts of a killer. You would run, but this time was different. Miss Skye dawdled at the scene of the crime. She even had her picture taken. No true criminal would act this way. It's inconceivable. Yeah. Okay, so we're getting somewhere. This is so weird. Well then, it seems we've come to the end of this testimony. The witness has a grudge against the defendant and a blank in her testimony. Mr. Edgeworth, is the next witness ready to go? Unfortunately, I appear to have overestimated this witness on account of her professional history. We did it! We screwed that can shut, Mr. Tight! Mr. Wright? Mr. Tight? Mr. Wright. That was too close. I'm afraid that the cough-up queen has been dethroned. And with that, court is adjourned. Alright. Oh, here we go. What? Who? Why are we holding it? Mr. Edgeworth, you ordered the squid wheels, right? That's the one she tried to foist off on me. I prefer to not take the defense team's leftovers. Anything else to say? I might be able to save you. I have decisive evidence. She gets 10 tries, bro, and I get like 4. What was that? Is this another one of her trick lunchboxes? My apologies, but we have no further questions to ask of you, Miss Starr. Ah. Is this your jumbo lunchbox? Woo, a triple decker. Bro, you're joking. Out of deference to the witness's determination, I'll allow one more testimony. This is bollocks. Let's hear about this decisive evidence. Like the lunch lane motto says, you won't be disappointed. What's she going to pull out of her lunchbox this time? The decisive evidence. Alright, this is the last one. I should have mentioned those 5 minutes when I wasn't looking at the crime scene. And now, to the matter of the victim's shoe. Did I not bring this up? 2 types of blood were found on this shoe. One, of course, was the victim's, and the other blood type matched that of the defendant, Miss Lana Skye. This shoe proves it. It's flawless, decisive evidence. Okay. What? There was blood found on that shoe? Try Lunchland for all your lunch and decisive evidence needs. What? Witness, what's the meaning of this? Why is this the first time I've heard of this evidence? Simple, as I've already said. I don't trust you with my evidence, Mr. Edgeworth. That's why I took the liberty of investigating this myself. And you had blood tests performed? Didn't I mention? I have 3 boyfriends in forensics. In any case, Your Honor, I can't accept this as evidence. What? You must know the 2 rules of evidence law. Number 1, no evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. In other words, this shoe is illegal evidence, at least for the time being. Is that right, Mr. Wright? It seems so. Edgeworth, sir, is celebrating. Not so fast, Mr. Edgeworth. What? Don't forget, I used to be a detective. As I mentioned previously, this shoe has already been tested by a member of the forensics department. As you can see, it was approved by the police department as of today. Even the general public can produce official evidence, Mr. Edgeworth. Is that right, Mr. Edgeworth? It seems so. Edgeworth is looking pretty sullen. You could at least study some evidence law, really. The prosecution's complaints notwithstanding, it appears that this evidence satisfies the first rule of evidence law. However, it seems you have yet another count against you, witness. Anything to ensure that the guilty are properly judged. Victim shoe, white enamel shoe. Bear traces of blood from Goodman and Lana Sky. Very well, Mr. Wright. You may cross-examine the witness. Oh, this is so much. Ah. I should have mentioned those 5 minutes when I wasn't looking at the crime scene. And now, to the matter of the victim's shoe. Did I not bring this up? 2 types of blood are found in the shoe. One was, of course, the victim's. And the other blood type matched out of the defendant, Miss Lana Sky. This shoe proves it. It's flawless, decisive evidence. Okay, let's press her. Why did you lie about those 5 minutes? I guess you could say I wanted people to look at the results. The results? How many times do I have to say this? I saw the chief prosecutor stab the victim before my very eyes. Compared to that, a 5-minute blink means nothing. Then why didn't you just tell the truth? Don't make me laugh. We're dealing with the most untrustworthy of the vile lot known as prosecutors. Falsified evidence, arranged testimonies, erasing and manipulating evidence. When you fight monsters, you need to use every trick in the book. This when the suspect is admitting she did it? But false testimony is the most despicable crime of all, Miss Starr. Let's just get this over with. And now, to the matter of the victim's shoe. Why did I not bring this up? And you found the shoe at the scene of the crime? I detained the chief prosecutor and notified the police department. I wanted to make myself useful while I was waiting for the police to arrive. Okay. So, like an ill-trained pooch, you snuck off with a shoe. I was afraid someone would erase the chief prosecutor's crime. This shoe was my secret weapon if that should happen. See, this fashionable basket I have here. It carries more lunch boxes, gentlemen. I'm happy for you and your lunch bag, really. In any case, you removed valuable evidence from the scene of the crime. Now tell us what you did next. 2 types of blood were found on the shoe. One was, of course, the victim's. So, you brought it to the forensics department? If you're going to submit something as evidence in court, you need it proved. To do that, evidence must be analyzed by a forensics expert. And she got away with a little coup because she used to be a detective. The shoe does appear to have bloodstains on it. Well, the man was stabbed after all. And that blood belonged to the victim, Detective Goodman. As I said, there were 2 types of blood found on the shoe. And the other blood type matched that of the defendant, Miss Lana Sky. You can't say for sure the blood belonged to the defendant with the blood test. You claim to know something about blood tests, Rookie? Well, I do, as a matter of fact. Well, speak up. Well, blood comes in 4 types, A, B, O, and AB. However, you can't tell from a blood test whether a murder was committed in cold blood. I mean, that's just a figure of speech, Mr. Wright. Actually, we can differentiate between millions of types with all the blood tests out there, which means that we can more or less narrow any sample of blood down to 1 person, or so I hear. That's pretty specific. If I had a little more time, I would have gotten DNA test results, but they said there's very little doubt it could be anyone but Miss Lana Sky's. So the suspect's blood was found in the victim's shoe. That ties her directly to the death of Detective Goodman. I was afraid he was going to say that. This shoe proves it. It's flawless, decisive evidence. I can't let this evidence go through without a fight. You ordered the peppered fish guts, right? Some like it hot, Mr. Wright. Some, like your client, she's in enough hot water to make a whole vat of soup. Mr. Wright, do you or don't you have a problem with the shoe? A problem? This is critical. Is there a problem with the victim's shoe? There is a problem. If I'm not imagining things, I'd say there is one critical problem with this evidence, a clear contradiction. That gleam in your eyes. You're still young, Rookie. I'd give you a peppered fish gut now, but you couldn't take the heat, could you? Let's hear what you have to say, Mr. Wright. Yep. Save your time. What is contradictory about the victim's shoe? Show us the problem with this evidence. I would say... Why is there blood on this side, but then on the other side there's... I wonder if you noticed, there's blood on the bottom of the shoe. Don't mess with me, Rookie, or it'll be your blood on the bottom of my shoe. Indeed, there is quite a bit of blood on the bottom of the shoe. It makes sense, the victim was stabbed with a knife. What could possibly be so contradictory about blood on the bottom of the shoe? What happened in the picture? Let's see what's in the picture. There's no pool of blood on the ground. The problem lies in the footprint. The footprint? Note that the bottom of the victim's shoe is covered in blood. Then, isn't it strange? Why weren't there any bloody footprints found by the scene of the crime? Aha! As you can see, there were no traces of any such footprints at the scene of the crime. That contradicts your— oh, I like that. Oh, I like that a lot. That contradicts your claim about the shoe. This picture only shows part of the floor, so there could have been bloody footprints. Then where are they, Mr. Edgeworth? Because we checked the scene and found nothing of the sort. Okay, I'm rocking with this. Order, order, order. Well, witness. What? Great going, Mr. Wright, but it's true that the lack of a footprint is a contradiction, but then we have to ask, why wasn't there a footprint? Oh, that's true. There has to be a reason why there wasn't a footprint. Think, Mr. Wright, think. Hey, I don't know why it's not there. I'm just good at finding contradictions. What? And look, here goes this guy. He's gonna take over my job. I see, now I get it. Get what? Our witness is more devious than I gave her credit for. We were hoodwinked to the very end. But she slipped. There's one vital hint of the truth in her testimony. What are you talking about? Think back to when she told us about apprehending the suspect. The chief prosecutor tried to resist, but her efforts were in vain. She knocked over my hands. She knocked my hands aside, kicked over an oil drum. Oh, she's beautiful, but deadly. A predator, this one. A leopard woman. Roar. I thought that was strange. That was a strange thing for the normally cool-headed chief to do. No kidding. Now, witness, allow me to ask a very simple question. This oil drum, was it empty? I'm not sure I like your attitude, Mr. Edgeworth. Though apparently you're not in the slowest conveyor belt in the lunchbox factory. Witness, well, was the oil drum empty? The oil drum kicked over by the chief prosecutor was brimming with water. Water? What does that mean? Still don't get it, Mr. Wright. Do you want to know the real reason she knocked it over? You don't mean... Yes, the suspect knocked over that oil drum for one reason and one reason alone. To erase the bloodstains that would become evidence against her. What? Oh my gosh, really? I don't know if I believe that. That ties things up quite nicely. Inconveniently, the bloodstains left on the victim's shoes tie her quite clearly to this murder. Then, after the deed was done, she knocked over the oil drum to erase the telltale signs. Why, that's a prosecutor's specialty, erasing evidence. That reminds me, Miss Skye's right hand was hurt. Didn't she say she'd cut herself when she stabbed him? So that's when my sister's blood got on the shoe? Well, I see no reason to prolong this trial. Mr. Wright, do something, please! What can I do? Your sister confessed to the crime and she tried to conceal it. But... Enough. There is no need to further debate. The verdict, Your Honor. Very well. But Angel Star is on the prosecution's side. She could have been lying about the water. The court finds the defendant, Ms. Lana Skye. What? Are we gonna... Oh, thank God. Let's go. Little girl. Little girl. What did you just say? Huh? Me? Did you say that I, Angel Star, was on the prosecution's side? Well, yeah, you are. You're saying my sister hid evidence by erasing the bloody footprints. Well, I thought you'd had your fill, but here you are demanding a second helping. Another lunchbox. A lunchbox called evidence. Wait, witness, don't tell me you have something else. What? The time for deliberations is past. Any further comments and you will be held in contempt of court. Your threats don't scare me, the cough-up queen. Look at this. Okay, nah. Nah. Why are you withholding so much evidence? What is up here? Why are we letting her do this? The judge needs to say enough is enough, bro. Are you kidding me? A photograph? I had it just in case anyone had the gall to suggest that the white shoe didn't belong to the victim. I see no reason for error in this evidence. Mr. Wright, wait, look at the asphalt in this photo. Hey, it's clearly wet. Erasing the last trace of doubt from the court's mind. Immediately after the murder, the crime scene was washed with water. I'm sorry, Mr. Wright. I guess I couldn't help after all. It's not your fault. I knew I couldn't help win this case from the beginning, and it seems this is what your sister wanted anyway. What? I'm sorry, Mia. Right. What or not? Don't be so quick to throw in the towel. Get yourself up off the asphalt. Take another look. Don't give up. Not until the bitter end. This is the last piece of evidence. Very well. This time I'd like to declare a verdict for good. Yeah, I'm gonna object to that one. I feel like we're gonna cook something here. Every time Mia shows up, you know something fire is about to happen. Let's hear it. Your Honor, wait. What is it with you people? Can't I hand my verdicts down in peace anymore? Whatever it is, can it wait? No, it can't. Then it will be too late. Look at this photograph, the last one submitted. The trial isn't over until we give each piece of evidence proper consideration. So Wright, are you saying there's a problem with this latest piece of evidence? Yeah, I'll think later. Yeah, there's a problem. Right or wrong, I've got to go ahead with this. I suppose since we've come this far, we should give every claim a fair shake. Very well, Mr. Wright. Show the court the problem in this photograph. What the what is that? Okay, well, I guess I would have to, so what? I honestly don't even understand. The shoe? And the chest, legs halfway out of the car. Is it the rag and the muffler? What is the problem? His hand. The shoe itself, maybe? Where are his shoes at? What's up with that muffler? The problem is here, in this photograph. What's this? There's something poking out of the car's muffler. Wait just a moment, Mr. Edgeworth. Your Honor, you just said muffler. Oh, because that's the other word for the scarf. However, I see no trace of a muffler or scarf of any kind in this photo. A muffler is also a part of a car or motorcycle, Your Honor. Just think of it as part of the exhaust system, a pipe. I see, and I see. What's that suspicious looking cloth sticking out of the car's muffler? So, what if there was something sticking out of the muffler? What does that have to do with this case? Nothing, absolutely nothing. No, because if she was talking about the muffler, then there's a possibility she wasn't talking about her scarf. Sorry, Miss Starr, but it's not going to be that easy. In fact, you've already told us why this is important to the case. You said as much in your testimony. What? Let's hear what Mr. Wright has in his mind. Tell us why you think this piece of cloth in the muffler is related to the case. The phone call. Miss Starr, recall your testimony for the court. Ah, yes, when I arrested her, she mentioned the muffler. That's what had me confused in my earlier testimony. Muffler? Could it be that the muffler you heard mentioned was actually this exhaust pipe? If so, that means this piece of cloth is vital evidence. Oh, okay. Okay, we're cooking. Well, it seems we'll have to suspend the proceedings. Suspend? I find myself wondering about that piece of cloth. If we leave any question unanswered before we have if we leave any question unanswered here, we do have to do it. What the if we do leave, bro, I've been reading for far too long. My brain is like putting in words that aren't even there. If we leave any question unanswered here, we do a disservice to the law. Have the car at the crime scene inspected at once and bring me that cloth. The verdict will wait until after we've seen all the evidence. Agreed? I suppose so. Whew, that was close. But we made it, at least for now. This court will adjourn for a 30-minute recess. It's lunchtime after all. He's still hungry? Alright, bro, we did it. 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 Alright, that was day number... Was that 1? I guess I like to save my progress. This is day 2. This is day 2 of this case, Rise from the Ashes. So, let's go ahead and save in all of our slots. Save in each and every slot. Alright. So we have uncovered the truth of what is happening. I mean, I'm wondering, so this whole thing, it just reeks of like something different's going on. I have a feeling that there is some crazy other side of this, like in Steel Samurai. This and the Steel Samurai case might be the two hardest cases in this entire game. I'm not gonna lie to you. The last case wasn't that hard. This case is definitely a little bit more, you have to think about the pieces, just like the Steel Samurai, where you really had to think back about like how things were structured and the sequence of events. And that's what I love about this game. But anyway, so that was part 2 of this bonus episode. After this, I'm sure will probably be the last day of investigation before we jump into the trial. I'm wondering if maybe we just do the investigation and then the trial and just knock that out in one stream, but that'll be for Thursday. But yeah, I'm excited to see what happens next. I'm excited to see, you know, who was it really Lana Skye who committed the murder, or, you know, was it somebody else? Was it, what happened? Because truthfully, I don't know. Truthfully, I genuinely don't know what could have happened there. I mean, everything points to Lana having committed the murder, but then again, we have all these extra pieces like the cloth and the muffler, you know, and the blood on the shoe and the water jug. It makes no sense to me. So we gotta have to try to make sense of this in the investigation, and then obviously throughout the trial on the next day. So anyway, y'all, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please leave a like, subscribe if you did. I appreciate you guys for coming to watch. I appreciate you anytime you guys show out. Y'all are the greatest. I love y'all. I love each and every one of y'all. And I'll see you guys in the very next video. Peace, y'all.